What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Beckley Wrestling Show. We got ourselves a three-time Ironman champ. We got ourselves a three-time, well, state finalist. I almost said state champ, but he's going for it this
Yeah.
year. Iowa commit. Angelo Ferrari, how you doing, bro?
Doing great. Just got out of practice and feeling good.
That's what's up, bro. I definitely. How you feeling after that third Ironman title?
It feels good. This last one was a little closer than I wanted it to be, but yeah, at the end of the day, got it done, and yep, three-time Ironman champ, feeling good.
Yeah, bro, because there's not a lot of people that's done it. It's definitely, I mean, you're up there with the Spencer Lees and just a very elite group of men have done what you've been able to do, and that's honestly, it's my favorite tournament, and I know that you love it too.
Yeah,
Like,
it's one of my favorite tournament as well. I mean, sorry.
what separates it for you? What makes it like the Super 32s, the far, which I know you're more of a folk style guy, me too. But what really separates Iron Man for you? Like, what makes it that
Well,
one?
well, personally, I like it when the finals is all on top of each other, and everybody doesn't really like me, so they're all cheering against me, and I love it. Like I remember my sophomore year when we first went, I was in the finals. I was up, I think it was 4-0, and going into third period, and I get thrown on my back, and I almost get pinned, and the crowd goes crazy, and yeah, I just love it. It's all upon each other, and yeah, it's just great. Just so
It
much.
is too, especially with that Blair one last year. Honestly, like and you hit him with the when you hit him with the flex. I don't think a lot of people. I mean, I think really big wrestling fans understand that like you guys had moved up and had went to Blair for a little bit, and AJ was there for a little bit and wrestled for him. And but for those that don't know, once you got that win over Norman, what was the flex about? Like, what was that? Because you could tell that really meant something to you, getting that win and being able to be like, "This
Yeah,
is
I mean,
gotcha."
yeah, it basically was that. I mean, we just don't really like Blair. If they could look it up probably and see we don't like him. I mean, uh, so my brothers went to Blair and then we transferred to Bergen Catholic. We love Bergen, but then we moved to Texas and yeah, I mean, just don't really like Blair that much. I mean, that's about it.
Fair enough. I can respect it, bro. And that's man, then you couldn't ask for a better Iron Man title. I mean, you know what I mean, going up against it. Now, did you that junior year one or the Joe Seeley one? Was there one that compared? Was it getting that third one a little better against a great opponent like Joe Seeley heading to Penn State, or was it a little better getting that victory over Blair?
Uh, I don't know. They're both kind of great because I mean Norman now. I mean, you see him in college. He just beat a national champ. I want to say who was it at 174.
Griffith from Stanford, yeah.
Right, he beat Griffith and
Well, Griffith's at Michigan now, but yeah.
yeah, yep, he beat Griffith and Sealy's great. To beat him another time is great. I don't know, they're just different. It feels great getting both of them done, and each one was a little different. I mean, the first one was great just because I got thrown and I got put in the worst situation I probably could have been in, and I came back and still won it. And the second one was great because it was against former school that we didn't like, and then the last one was great because it was Penn State commit versus Iowa commit. We're number one at 160 was number one at 170, and just great.
I'll tell you what, bro. It, it was fun to watch, man. You put on a hell of a show, and as just a spectator, and just being able to be there and and watch it and watch. But me, I actually talked to your brother Anthony about this, and I was about to talk to you a little bit about it. Like when you do get that crowd reaction, with the Blair one, or like you said, like kind of like people kind of lightweight root against you. What do you what where? And I know you kind of love it. You feed off of that, which I
Yeah,
respect. And
I,
I love you for it, bro. But
100.
what's the cause of?
I feel so. I embrace that. That the hate in the crowd. I honestly I like it just as much, or if not more, than if the whole crowd did like me or was rooting for me. That's what drives me whenever I'm working out. Pushing. I see these comments talking about me, talking about my family, and that pushes me to drive, forward and push through that, that pain barrier.
Yes, sir. And you can tell. And one thing that I think that makes me uh, there's three brothers in my family, right? And I'm the youngest of three. So when I look at AJ, I look at Anthony, and I look at you, bro. Like it really, there's a lot of similarities. My oldest brother lives in a gym, bro. Just hits the weights. I mean, he's been a gym rat since he was young. Um, my middle brother, he's kind of that, like he's got that. It just the shoe fits with each one, bro. Like very much so. And what I love about you guys is right or wrong, whatever the case may be, you guys ride with each other no matter what. And I just the way and I'm gonna just give a shout out to your parents on that because like a lot you don't see that, man. Like you guys are just very close knit. And I guess has it been like that forever? Like even as kids, like I mean I know brothers fight, but have you guys just always had each other's back and it's just been that heavy? Like you guys let it known, whether it be on social media, whether it be in person in an interview, you know that the Ferraris are gonna support each other.
Yeah, 100%. Growing up in my family, my dad really instilled that in us. We'd fight. I mean, we'd fight all the time, but you never go against the family in whatever you do. You always have your brother's back. And I think it's kind of a whole Italian thing, not even just my family, my entire family in general. Like, I got so many cousins, I always have their back, going through whatever. So, yeah, I think it's just Italian heritage and, yep, the Ferrari name.
For sure. And it sticks, man. And I think what you guys and really like I said, like before we like I told you a little bit before we started here, man, like I really all right, I'll ask you first that what would make this sport, all right? Because everybody wants wrestling to grow, right? Everybody wants it. Who doesn't? Like I wouldn't be sitting here doing this podcast trying to get the best wrestlers in the country. And bro, for me to sit down with you and Anthony has been uh, just huge for me, man. Like lightweight, not nervous as corny as that might sound, but it's like, man, if Ferrari's got to nail this one, got to make sure it goes good. Like I've just watched you guys for so long and been such a fan that it's like I got to make sure it's right. So, uh, but at the end of the day, like I think we need more people like you. But so for this sport to continue to grow, what do you think this sport could use more of, or what
I think
direction can it?
I've said this before on other things, but I think we need loud personalities, like people like me and my brothers who, we don't just talk, but we back it up in whatever we do. So they could say whatever, we talk a lot. They could say I talk a lot, I whatever, but I back it up when we all back it up whenever we wrestle. So I think there's too many people in the sport that just work hard, are silent, and that's what's keeping the sport, small. I think, and that's why other sports like football, you see how MMA's popped off just because there's so many people that are invested in it because they see these dudes are talking and they get into it. So
Absolutely, because people feed off of drama. Like even like you said, like bro, I guarantee. I mean, you have probably what we'll say 100 followers on Instagram, right? Probably. I mean, people there, but there's, and I want you to realize this, like, and I'm sure you do, man. There are people that love you, bro. Like, just enjoy watching you wrestle. Know who you are off the mat. Know who your family is off the mat, and that's what kind of lightweight bothers me. And I said it at the end of your brother's interview, like after he was gone, I do a little outro, like just how I think the interview went, and just speak on the person a little bit. And I was once you really get a feel for somebody and you meet them in person and stuff, and half these people that are judging have never even been at walked up, shook your hand, yes sir, no sir, nice to meet you, sign an autograph, from your dad down. You guys
yeah,
have you guys don't know me from Adam, and you've all been respectful.
exactly. I think it happens a lot of times with me and my brothers. And even my dad. People think we're all all pissy and I don't know a-holes and stuff like that. But they meet us in person, they find out we're way different. But it's fine. It's part of getting that hate, and it's no problem for me. But people got to realize that you can't judge somebody just off not even meeting them. So
I agree because and bro, with success from comes hate. With success come it's gonna it happens. And I think, to be honest with you, bro, I think you're going to have a lot of hate for a long time, and that's not a knock. That's just me saying that you're going to have a hell of a career. So
Yeah, it's great. I mean, yeah, it's what embraces me. I mean, like I've said, love me or hate me, you're gonna watch. It doesn't matter if
that
you don't like me. It's more eyeballs watching me, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
that's no doubt, dude. Whenever a Ferrari comes on, and I don't care if it's the Big Ten Network, ESPN, Flow, it don't matter. Rockfin, whatever. If you guys are on it, there's more eyes. If there's a Ferrari wrestling, more people are watching, and that's a fact. So I do agree with you that more people need to talk and kind of, and I really liked how Flow started setting up like Final X because I really thought it would help. You know what I mean? And but then it was just more or less like they just, instead of being like, "Hey, I'm ready to get out there. I'm gonna rock him." Like they were just like, he's a great competitor. Really
Yeah,
like him, and I get that, like, because they probably are buddies off the mat. But at the same time, for like to make the sport grow, like get after him. Like for these 6 minutes, you're not buddies. You know what I mean? You're fighting for a spot for the world team. So
exactly.
act it. Just
Yeah,
and then I think it would help fans just be like, "Whoa, turn this on!" Like, look what Burrows just said to Dake, or whatever the
yeah.
case may be, whoever it is.
That's what happened. I mean, with them too. Whenever they were on a podcast, I don't remember which podcast, but they were talking a
Yep,
little together, and it got more people invested in that match. 100%.
100%, 100, and I guarantee that's one of the most watched. Little go to YouTube when it comes to wrestling because it's hard to push wrestling. Like a lot of people even ask me, like, "Bro, you're trying to break into a sport that it's very hard." And it was
Yeah,
just like, I don't care. My passion is my passion. This is what it is. Like if it goes nowhere, if it goes somewhere, man, like the people I've got to meet and do this with, it's worth every second of it, bro. If it goes nowhere, if it leads to something great, this is just the beginning. The way I look at it, just like you're chasing that natty title at Iowa. I don't even know what I'm chasing. I'm just hoping it turns into something great, bro.
yes, sir.
But man, I wanted to dig into just a little bit of everything, man. Like I said, you're a three-time finalist, two-time state champ, going for you're hoping to get that third, which I have, if I had to place a bet, I'm gonna say you're gonna end up a three-time state champ, four-time finalist. You you took third at Super 32s. You you've done just, I mean, and two of your state titles were in Oklahoma, right? And one in Texas. And if you get,
Yeah.
so it would be two and two.
So I've had one in Oklahoma and one in Texas. I'm a two-time finalist in Oklahoma though.
So
So
you'll have two finalists. You'll have two finalists in each state. At the
yes,
end of the day, you'll have two in Oklahoma, two in Texas if you get it this year.
yes, sir. Yep.
So I mean, just, and it's just amazing. And this stuff happened, bro. Like when you first got into wrestling, I know it was through jujitsu, and a lot of people have heard that. And I know you did a little bit in the story with Anthony and how he was getting choked out, and how his dad, that kid's dad, was like, "Hey, I want these kids to wrestle." When
Yeah.
you first hit the mat, though, and your dad and all you guys went, how did you first, like, your first impressions? Like, was you like, "Damn, all right, I like this," but because I've seen kids also be like, "This ain't for me," after year one. But so, what was your first impression of it when you first got on? Do you remember?
I don't remember personally, but my dad and my parents would always tell me. So I was about 2 or 3, and my brother we're each 2 years apart. So Anthony was about 4 or 5, and AJ was like 7. And they'd be wrestling, and I would just be, you know, itching to get on the mat. They'd say I'd be crawling on the mat, just always wanting to get a mat, always in a singlet. So I loved it from the start, and yeah, and I just really I started embracing it really when I was like, I want to say 6. My dad always told me like, whatever you do to 100%. Put your all in whatever you do. So at 6, I even took it serious. I remember, in 8, I remember we'd always go to the Tulsa Nationals, and I ended up winning only once, but yeah, it was a great tournament to go to, and yeah, I love those memories with my brothers. Going up to Tulsa Nationals and winning that and having those great experiences.
Absolutely, man. And what, I guess, what out of everything, what, because you haven't been back to Fargo. Like heck, when is the last time you were at Fargo? Did you
So
ever go to
I went to Fargo 1 year. So after my freshman year, I wrestled 152 my freshman year,
went
and
down to 45?
I cut to 145. It wasn't a good cut. I didn't cut the weight right, and I did not wrestle good. And I'll just say a lot of these guys that I lost to, I would I'd probably tech them now, I'd say. Or
I'm
maybe
going to guarantee it. When I looked at I was confused by some of it, but then I was like, maybe it's just, but that weight
yeah.
cut's huge. But
Yeah, the weight cut, I'm really not big against like huge weight cuts. Like I cut a huge amount of weight there, and that was my last time cutting a huge amount of weight for a day of weigh-in. Uh, I've cut for a day before weigh-in. I've cut a good amount of weight, but day of weigh-in, you got to do it smart. And 165 wasn't this in December of this year wasn't. It was a hard cut, but it wasn't a crazy hard cut. Like me going 45 then was like as if I went 57 at Ironman this year. Like that's what it was like, I'd say. So it was just too much weight, and I lost my muscle. And you cut too much weight like that, you just you lose your pop, I'd say.
100%. 100%. I've been there, bro. And it's definitely, but I also read an article on you about weight cut. And I think if anybody gets the time, they should read it. I don't know if you've ever, do you know which one I'm talking about?
No,
But there's literally an article on weight cutting and it's talking about and you're like they took words from you, man. I ran across because I dug deep, bro. Like I mean, to everything that I possibly could, and it's actually a really good read. So, and I think it could help kids that have ran into that problem because I ran into that problem, bro. I remember putting sweatsuits on, sitting in saunas, spitting, just trying to, you know what I mean, to get down to a weight that I thought I would be best at, and then I went out and didn't same exact situation that you just was, and we're not the only two. It's happened to thousands of wrestlers. So to be honest, man, you get a second, look it up. It's actually really really good, and I'm not sure if they just happened to hear you talk about it and made an article about it or what the case was, but it was a good read, man. But I see that you're looking to go at 84 when you get up to Iowa. Is that a true statement or is that just some internet?
Yeah, most likely. I'm thinking 74 to 84 range. I'd say probably most likely 84. I mean, I'm getting bigger right now. I'm wrestling 175, but it's plus two, so it's really 177 the rest of the season. Not really cutting any weight, just trying to get bigger for college. And yep, yes sir.
I like it, man. And speaking of Iowa, and I know you've been asked this a lot, but what you came down to Rutgers, you came down to Virginia Tech, you came down to them. Virginia Tech and Rutgers, they offered you some really cool thing. I mean, you saw a fight, you know, VT pulled out the Ferrari. What separated Iowa and was like, this is where I need to be. This is where I'm going to win my national championships.
Uh, it just felt like a similar mindset. The brands, with that my dad, raised me with, and being my brothers are a huge thing, of course, as well. And yeah, those are the main two things. Just felt like felt really close there.
Absolutely, man. And I could agree with it just from hearing your stories and like how your dad like trained you guys and then watching the brands and how they trained themselves in that basement with each other and they're, being brothers like yeah, the shoe fits for sure. And I honestly, I'm an Ohio guy, but honestly, I think and this is just me just as a fan, bro. I think I think it's gonna be good for you, and I'm excited to for your future, bro. I think it's bright as hell.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, talking about like we're gonna step into Mr. Lorenzo here, and even Miss Pace a little bit here. Like, what have they meant to your wrestling career? Even actually, let's talk on you because like everybody knows, and we'll get into your dad because like I'm a huge fan, just a massive fan of your dad. I actually would love to sit down and talk to him because I got a son, and I'd love to just pick his brain. But your mom, she had to have, I mean, with you guys going from Jersey, Oklahoma, Texas, like how has she handled this whole entire deal with you three boys just eat, breathing, and sleeping wrestling for the last
I mean,
15?
definitely, I think it's been hard. Really, my mom and my two sisters as well. Just moving a lot because of stuff like that, which it is hard, but we eventually got used to it. We sucked it up and dealt with it, and they embraced it. I'm really thankful for my sisters and how much they sacrificed for me and my brothers for wrestling, and same with my parents and my mom especially. And yeah, that was the main thing. They sacrificed the tongue for us, and Yeah,
And
hopefully it's gonna pay off.
and bro, I'll be honest with you. That's the things that I feel like people need to know about what this family is and what they're about, because the sacrifices that your, like you just said, your mom's, your sister, like this wasn't your dad and just moving around and trying to get you guys in the best situation for success. And that's amazing. That's it. It, it's awesome. And I hope when people watch this, they realize like, damn, this family was they're just special. They're something. They're different, unique in what we need, and they're freaking monsters. But I really just want them to know off the mat like how great of people you guys are. So, and I think that just is a big shout out to your mom and sisters, man. So I appreciate you sharing that, dude. I didn't know that.
Yes,
And
sir.
now we'll jump into Mr. AJ Senior though. What has he meant like, because he's done so much for you guys, man. Uh, and just the way that he interacts with you is amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
he's great, man. My dad, I could talk about him for hours. I mean, the amount of sacrifices he's made for me and my brothers growing up, and everything that he's done for me has been great. He's been the best possible father I could ask for. Not only putting godly values into us, but also in wrestling and teaching us hard work, motivating us. And people don't understand. Every night, we'd be training hard. He'd be honest. People would see him yelling at us at practice, going at us. But then when we get back home, he didn't see when my dad, would come to our bed, say I love you every night. He really he was both sides. He'd be hard on you when we're wrestling, but then after he'd tell you how much I love you, how hard you're working, how proud of you he is. So I think he was really good at that. And I think a lot of wrestling dads, I think too much of the time they're just hard, 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 but then they don't tell them their kid how much they're proud of them and how much they love them. And that's how my dad is, and I love it, man. I mean, I have so many stories with him, and he's been a great father for me, and it still is.
absolutely, and you could tell, man. It was definitely fun just sitting back and just honestly, even the way you guys walked off the mat together the past 2 seasons. Because I mean, I've only got to see the Iron Man live, and it was. I hope one day. That's why I was saying I'd like to just sit down and talk with him, because whenever you raise three sons that speak the way that you guys do off the mat and shake hands with a gentleman and just say yes sir and just thank you, and just you the way you guys carry yourselves, and then what he created on the mat to make top recruits in the country, all three of you. um he's definitely somebody that I look up to as a father, and hope that I could and do what he did. So I mean, salute to Mr. AJ, and definitely somebody that I think a lot of people view in a different light, and I'm not real sure why. So uh, I'm just glad that you're able to speak on it and let people know who he really is, because he's done a hell of a job with you guys, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir.
But man, I know you got a lot going on, man. But if one more thing I wanted to ask you too, real quick, before I let you go, bro, was everything that's going on with just your just the way everything's going. Do you think everybody, like, you think AJ still ends up at Iowa, and is the plan to get all three of you brothers together? Is that a plan? Or is it kind of like, hey, one day at a time? If it happens, it happens. If not, it's okay. Whatever if he decides is what he decides.
I think one day at a time, and I think we should all end up there, and I think it should be a great experience, and yeah,
I think that's what everybody's hoping, bro. Because I think, gosh, man, that would be fun, brother. It would be if you had you at 184, him at 197, and Anthony at 149. I'm watching every Hawkeye duel. I'm watching every Hawkeye duel, bro.
sir.
And then whenever they can shoot to Mr. AJ and AJ Senior in the stands, whew,
Yeah.
that's just, and I can promise you, them Big Ten ratings, bro, through the sky. But
Yes,
if you
sir.
could pick one man, all right, and you say you're already at Iowa, you're lacing up, and you can pick anybody. They don't got to be in the Big Ten. Just anybody in the NCAA's. Who would you choose to lace them up with and go toe to toe with?
It's hard to say right now just because I got to put on some weight. I'm thinking 184. So uh, I'm not sure with right now. I'm trying to think, man. It's tough. I really.
It is. It is. I get you.
It's really tough. You know,
We'll come
definitely.
back to it. Hey, when once you win that natty, you get your reg. If you do, or if you go in as a true freshman, hopefully we can run this back again one day, brother, and we'll come up with something because it is. I mean, right now I'm asking you for, hey, tell me what you're gonna do in a year from now and who you'd like to go against. But I was just curious if you were like, man, because like Gabe Arnold, whenever he went to Iowa, like he was like Carter Starachi, I want him. You know what I mean? So I didn't know if you had somebody like that.
Well, yeah, it's just hard to say because a lot of those type of guys I feel like are graduating this year at those heavier weights, like
Yes, sir.
74 and 84, and a lot of graduates. But yeah, definitely got to be somebody from Penn State, probably. Got to
Oh,
be
you
some.
got to now. You got to. But that, hey, and what'd you feel about all that hate with the throwing of the hat? Like, I thought it was amazing. And look how much what wrestling needs. What wrestling needs. But man, would you take it back?
The hat throw?
Yeah.
Oh no, I would not take it back at all. I think it was a troll thing kind of, but yeah, I'm going for the Penn State guys. That's who we're going for. I mean, so why wouldn't I want to do that? I mean, I'm already. Let me see. I think I'm 3-0 against Penn State commits already. So it's fun. Uh, yep.
You're a dog, bro. I promise you that. And none of them Penn State commits, including Sealy, at who's number one at Iron Man. And whenever you went to Iron Man or who's number one, I mean, you've won 3 matches at your 2 visits there, and you've done just, bro, just incredible things. I mean, just it's. I literally like we. I mean, with everything I got on you, I ain't kidding you. We could talk for 2 hours because. And what's crazy is you're only a senior in high school without a college. You haven't even hit it yet. Like so, it's very impressive, bro. Very excited for your future. Is there any freestyle, like say you go do your college thing? Is there any thought of freestyle, or is it just, hey, when I'm done with college, maybe MMA? But no, or have you thought anything about freestyle?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I think it depends on time. I want to go. I want to be a true freshman national champ, win 4 NCAA titles, and then 2028 go for the Olympics, and then after that transition right into MMA. I think that's the ideal plan, and I really love fighting. I train boxing in the summer sometimes. I like learning little jujitsu type stuff, and I think it'd be really fun to do. And yeah, I think I could take over that. You already see what a wrestler's doing. Bo Nickel,
Bo Nickel. Yep.
Bo Nickel's crazy. He was actually from I he's really cool. I got to train with him this summer and talk with him about it a little bit, which he's really cool to talk to and uh, pick his mind a little bit. So, yep.
That's awesome. But here you are picking Penn Staters brains though.
Well,
That
yeah,
but me,
yeah. I mean, I've known him my whole life because he grew up in Texas, right
yeah,
in town as us. So I saw whenever he was in high school, I was a little kid at a club right next to him. So I'd see him working hard, number one in the country, come out of high school.
I
So
respect.
great watching him going up.
You can't not, though, especially with what you want to do with your career. And like you said, both coming from Texas. I don't care if he went to the arch rival school or not, man. If you can pick somebody brand like Bo Nickel, and after everything he's done, 3 national championships, 4 times in the finals, now he's doing what he's doing in the MMA world. You take that chance, and you just can't run across that kind of knowledge. So that's awesome. You got to do that, bro. That's awesome, especially with what you want to do. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do. So
Yep.
that's honestly, bro, and I see you doing the same thing, man. So keep staying on the right track. And thank you for taking this time. I know you got a lot going on, especially in the season, bro, and especially just with somebody just starting out like myself. So it means more to me than I could ever let you know, man. Just taking this 30 minutes to sit down and answer some questions and just honestly, bro, it's helping my platform more than you know and growing because it's a Ferrari. You touch it, it works, man. The best interview I've ever had is Anthony's. So,
Sure.
uh, you guys, so I appreciate you, big dog, more than you know, and I think the world of all you guys, and you've done nothing but be more and more pleasant and great and just respectful, and keep doing what you do. Keep talking. You guys are the Muhammad Ali's of wrestling, bro, and we need more of you.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Not a problem, my man. But hey, you go have yourself a good night. Go get yourself that third state title, and hopefully we can link back up after
We're
you
going
get.
dual state this weekend. Melissa Cardinals are taking dual state this weekend.
Let's go get it though, bro. I'll be watching, and I promise you, we'll be well. Hopefully they have it. I wish they'd have it on Flow or something, but
Yeah. I
I'll
don't
definitely be.
know.
Keep us locked in though. We'd be like if you guys get that, you know what I mean. If you guys keep moving, man, keep us locked in on the social media and let us know how it goes. If there ain't no way to watch it, but if there's a way to watch it, we'll be watching it for sure.
Yes. Yep. Yes, sir.
But best of luck, man, and you know we'll be make sure you stay healthy too, and go enjoy this shit, man. You got a heck of a ride ahead of you in the next several years, bro. So we'll be rooting for you, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on. It's been
Yes,
great.
sir. Not a problem. Thanks, big man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. All right, Angelo Ferrari. Man, that just if that to all these people that dislike the Ferraris for some reason and want them to lose and want them like if you guys watch my first interview with AJ or I'm sorry Anthony, just if not go back and watch it and then watch this one and listen to how he just spoke there at the end. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you for this is who they are off the mat. So why everybody thinks they're just like and whenever they do talk, let them. Like you guys are interested in it. You hate them for it for some reason and want them to lose. But at the end of the day, that they're okay with that. But it makes it more interesting. It might not be your style. You might like humbleness and greatness, and to each their own. Like I, whatever. But you can't. I watched an entire crowd boo that man at Iron Man, not this past season, but whenever he beat Blair, he hit him with the flex, and they're not a big fan of Blair. Whatever that is that's their situation. But to boo a 17-year-old kid for being great, explain it to me. I don't get it because he speaks on it and then goes and does it. Is that the problem? Are we judging him off of what what AJ was accused of and didn't even do, or and then people making things up like, oh, the other dad kept them in cages. Like this is the problem with this honestly with social media and just media in general. Mostly, we won't even get into it all, but just they're good people, and I think wrestling needs more of it. And whether you love it or hate it, they they bring viewers and they bring them heavy. The soldier salute, love it. Love it. I think it's a great cause, great things. It and I watch it. But if unless you're a diehard wrestling fan, not a lot. And I don't care what anybody says. I guarantee Flo can look at last year's, like how many people watched it, and then look at this year when AJ and Anthony were there, and tell me it probably doubled. And I could be wrong, but I bet you I ain't. So at the end of the day, like I just I think they're very people don't see them for who they really are. They want to pick and choose, and uh, AJ's just as good of a person too. AJ sat there, and this is the God's honest truth. He's the only one I've never met. Met Big AJ, met Angelo, met them both at Iron Man. Had an hour and 15-minute long interview with Anthony. Um, but AJ had just saw that, hit me up on Instagram, hit me with a follow, just little things like that. But it was like he didn't have to do shit. Like he didn't have to do nothing. He don't owe me nothing. But like, and it just goes to show you, like these are just good people. Like, hey, you looked out for my brothers. You gave them a solid interview. Boom, I got you, and it's appreciated, man. And it meant a lot to me as someone just starting out. And yeah, I just hope that people get to see him, man. great people, man. I think sky's the limit. I think him going to Iowa just 184 got something coming. I mean, this kid, I, I've watched him wrestle two times. Well, at two tournaments, both at Ironman, his junior and senior year, and he dominated. And then he got into the finals, and he handled Norman from Blair last year pretty well. I can't remember the final score, 11-4, 9-4, or something like. I can't remember what exactly. Um, and then him and Seeley went in overtime, and Seeley's the world champ. So this kid's gonna be special. He is, and I think he comes right in and does some great things for Iowa. I think we all know that. Um, yeah, and just blessed, man. Really do appreciate him coming on. Uh, because I'm sure these boys get calls all the time. People want to talk to him. So for him to take 30 minutes, sit down, talk to, jump on the Beckley Wrestling Show is huge. Definitely appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And we got a lot more coming. This is just the beginning. We got honestly, we got William Bassett, Coach Bassett coming on next. We got Nate Desmond coming up, and we also got Paul Kenny and Ridge Lovett and Benny DeVino. I mean, we got a lineup here, man. So real excited about the next couple interviews. So make sure you guys stay locked in, hit that subscribe, hit that like, follow us on Instagram, Beckley Wrestling, man. We're just trying to grow this thing. We love it. And hopefully we can get the rest of the Ferraris because I gotta get big AJ and little and AJ Jr. out here and make it work, man. So uh yeah, hopefully we can get them all. But make sure you guys stay locked in. Beckley Wrestling, we coming straight at you. We love y'all.